you deal with grief? Firstly, let's just look at what grief actually is. Okay, grief is a feeling, and it is a feeling that is caused when your life circumstances have changed in an irrevocable way that you have had absolutely no control over. Okay, it is a response to the fact that life is different. So how do you actually deal with grief? In your own way. That's the first thing I want to say. We all deal with grief differently. For instance, some people, when their partner dies, get rid of everything straight away. Can't stand it. Nah, moving on. Nah. Other people cling to every single thing that person left behind. Neither of those is wrong. Don't ever judge somebody for the way that they are grieving. It is their way. And that's the right way for them. Might not be the right way for you, and that's okay. When it's your turn to grieve, you'll do it your way. Now remember too, that with grief, it's not just, losing a loved one that causes grief. It could be the loss of a job. It could be, you've financially have gone bankrupt. All of these things can cause grief. So at some stage in our lives, everybody is going to go through grief and have to experience it. And don't stop and think for a minute that you're failing or you're not moving on if you're out shopping and you suddenly just burst into tears. That's just the emotion flowing through your body, and it wells up. It becomes like a big tidal wave and it comes crashing down on you. And it's like when you first go through grief, that just keeps happening and happening and happening constantly. But it's like any storm, it starts to abate a bit, and those tidal waves still come, but they don't come as often. And eventually, when they hit, they're not even that bad, like they're not as big a tidal wave, but you'll still get those emotions going up and down, okay? So don't be hard on yourself. Do please seek professional help. That's the first thing I say to people. Sure, come to me as a clairvoyant to get some clarity on the situation or to connect with your loved one, but you do need somebody to help you through the steps of grieving. Another important thing to do, you need to keep living. You can't curl up in a ball in your room forever. That's not going to help you get through grief. If you stop living, if you're not looking after yourself and you stop living, you really do need to get professional help, okay? Because that's not healthy for you. When we're grieving, it should never ever mean that our lives end. And one of the hardest things with grief is to realize that your life is never going to be the same again. There is nothing that you can do about it. And that's a really, really difficult thing for a lot of people to accept, that the life that you had planned. So say you married somebody and your marriage ends, that's grieving. For a lot of people, that's an awful thing, especially if you didn't see the end coming. And so your life as you had planned it is not going to be. It's going to be completely different. It doesn't have to be a bad thing, but it will be completely different, and we need to accept that. And if you fight that and you just keep constantly wishing that your life was back the way it was, you're not going to get through grief, because you are clinging to something that will never ever be, and just wishing for it to be is not a healthy way. Grieve it, mourn it, cry, get angry, laugh at the happy memories, and just keep taking those little steps every day. Get out of bed, move on with life. You will miss them, you'll miss the situation, you need to mourn it, and that's okay. It will ease, it will always be there. The pain will always be there. You will always miss the person or the situation, but life does go on, and we do need to keep taking those steps. So please make sure that you look after yourself. If you've lost a loved one or you're in a state of grieving, look after yourself. Make sure you're eating well, you're drinking plenty, and please seek professional help, because it is really, really important to have that person there who is unattached from you to help guide you through and come out the other end.